This past 4th of July weekend, I was headed to New Jersey to see a good friend and sorority sister's new house. Now, in order for me to get there, I took the New York City subway, just like I do every day. I took the D train from Harlem to Columbus Circle, and there I'd switch to the 1 line to get to Penn Station. Only this MTA trip was different. This time, I was sexually assaulted. Now, as far as sexual assaults go, this was not the worst, but it was scary, physically painful, and it is still traumatizing. Now, as I was standing on the train platform, I was waiting for the doors to open, and I noticed a large frame man was inside the train, and he was standing front and center. He appeared to have his eyes locked in on me even before the train came to a complete stop. Now, I knew enough to break eye contact and try to kind of casually blend into the larger crowd. But he stayed fixated on me. And when the train doors opened, he ran up to me, and every way I went, he would follow. And just as I thought he'd maybe lost interest and ran away, so I proceeded to step onto the train, he suddenly appeared behind me and slapped my butt actually, so hard with an open palm that it pushed me down to the platform itself. And my hands kind of caught my fall, but on that yellow line with the textured bumps, the one right by the train. And then just as quickly as this man appeared and slapped me down, he ran away. Now, a lot of other things happened immediately following my attack, including me reporting the assault, the perpetrator being arrested and jailed for a brief period of time, me working with the district attorney's office to work towards a treatment solution, and the perpetrator pleading guilty to forcible touching. Also, a judge granting me a protective order that will remain in place until 2027. The perpetrator was also sentenced to a few sessions of outpatient treatment at the Queen Center for Change. That's a facility for sex offenders. But another thing happened after my attack. About a month later, that same perpetrator, he punched and pushed 2 12-year-old girls and 1 11-year-old girl at the corner of Washington Street and Perry Street in downtown Manhattan. And just like in my attack, he fled the scene, but was captured by law enforcement a couple of blocks away. This man also had 4 prior unsealed arrests and many more sealed arrests going back to 2010. Let me be very clear. I do not want any harm to come this man's way. He is unhoused and clearly suffers from mental illness. And as I discussed with the prosecutor that handled my case, justice in this case is that this man gets the much needed treatment and support services that he needs, and that we as New York City civilians be kept safe from his harm. Now, there are a lot of problems with Mayor Eric Adams' new plan. The implementation of officers being deployed as makeshift social workers, most of them without the necessary training of how to calm crisis situations, diffuse emotional scenes, or maintain empathy. All of that will undoubtedly lead to more problems and even the potential killings of mentally ill people. I know that. But to pretend that this issue does not need immediate and aggressive policy reform is both intellectually and morally dishonest. Many of these mentally ill people do need treatment and some medication. And see, the very nature of their illness prevents them from having the mental and legal capacity of being able to make that choice for themselves. Now, while that might sound like a threat to their civil liberties, and it may be, remember that all of our liberties, all of our freedoms must be balanced against that overall freedom of our collective right as the public to remain safe and protected from harm. I don't want mentally ill and unhoused people harmed. I don't want law officers harmed. I also don't want officers unnecessarily or unlawfully harming others. And I also don't want for those of us that take the train to school and work every day to constantly be afraid and in actual danger of being hit, slapped, pushed, spat on, or even killed. That's today's Sidebar. I want to thank you for joining us. For much more news, politics, and entertainment, check out theGrio.com and download the free Grio app, where you can stream movies and much more content. We're easy to find on all the major streaming platforms. The Grio with Mark Lamont Hill is up next.